What do the rich buy that the poor don't even know is available for purchase? You can rent celebrities for your private events, not just musicians, but bona fide actors and actresses. Super rich guy in Bel Air used to host his kid's birthday party in late October, so they went all out for a Halloween-themed party. Everyone at the kids' school was invited, plus their own friends. Each year they'd hire some fantastic athlete to appear at the event. One year it was Tony Hawk, another year it was some Olympic gold medal gymnastic winners. The one that threw me was when they hired Demi Moore, Anthony Kiedis and Benicio del Toro to be guests at the party, to hang out and pretend they were friends with the kid. Mind you, this was a kid's Halloween party, set outside in a huge, massive garden, spread out over tennis courts and lawns, with games, buffets, dessert tables, taco stands, omelette stands, BBQ, pizza, burgers, etc. No booze, no one allowed inside. All the event staff were dressed in Halloween costumes. It was very cool, but it was sad to see Kiedis and Ditra sitting together commiserating. You could see the things we do for a paycheck look on their faces. They were at a kids' party FFS. Demi was very nice, she brought her little doggies. A while back some guy on here was talking about his experience working as a sort of personnel manager for a billionaire and how things are just wildly different for them. The specific example he used was how things work when these people want to go on a trip, and give any notice at all to their employees. What happens is that an advanced team gets sent ahead by a few days to scope out the rented, bought location and report back exact dimensions for closet space, drawer space, etc. People back at the home go through the clothing, jewelry, etc., and draw up a priority list which is sent to the advanced team. The advanced team then spends the next 2 days purchasing the list of items, entire wardrobes, jewelry sets, makeup kits, bathing supplies, etc. Anything they cannot get, not enough time, or is one of a kind like the family heirloom watch the rich dude wears every now and then, is relayed to the house team. The family's schedule is arranged such that the moment the family leaves the house on the day of travel, a whole team of people rushes through and packs up all the remaining items. Only after the family leaves, you wouldn't want to deny them access to their items for even a few seconds, which are then sent ahead to the airport while the family has a lunch or something somewhere. Upon landing, their luggage takes one route, direct, and the family takes a similarly indirect route, unless otherwise directed, such that by the time they get to the location all of their items are not just unpacked but in their proper organized locations and ready for use without any of the advanced team ever being visible to the family. What happens when the family leaves the location? The same situation in reverse. But quite frequently all of the repurchased items are just disposed of in some method. It's just easier, if not cheaper, to review them each time the family goes somewhere if they aren't traveling to too many different locations in quick succession. This is some pharaohs of Egypt level shit. How are these billionaires even functional people when literally everything is done for them in life? Will Smith recently said in an interview that Oprah has been famous and wealthy for so long that she just forgets about the simplest things because she's used to her mind as taking care of things like carrying her coffee. Will Smith then mentioned that he once saw Obama fetch some food for Oprah. I have seen this happen with a multimillionaire CEO, not even a billionaire, is the point. I was at a social party for business, and this CEO set his drink down on a side table as he was talking to a small group. He walks away a couple dozen feet, the conversation finishes, and he just holds out his hand like the drink is going to magically reappear. He held his arm out like that for a good 10 seconds or so before looking down at his empty hand, then behind him, and walked back almost confused to reclaim his drink. I was part of the initial conversation and witnessed the whole thing. I can only assume he was used to having an assistant always at his side and waiting to hand him this stuff. That's hilarious. The president grabbing food for a TV host. A person to go to jail for you in your stead. This is a known phenomenon in Latin America, but I imagine it happens in other places as well. Certainly amongst the yakkers it happens. I knew a guy who did 8 years for his boss and got paid. Hey man, my family is one medium accident or bad event away from completely imploding. If push came to shove, I'd serve time to make sure everyone else stays afloat. I don't see it on here, but the vast majority of financial products are out of reach for all but the rich. One reason the rich get richer is that they have access to investments that we've never heard of. Ever seen The Big Short? Why do you think Goldman Sachs took a week to correctly price Dr. Michael Burry's housing short position? Because they were securing that position for themselves and their clients. Those financial instruments are so complicated and the regulation on them so Byzantine that it wouldn't surprise me if Goldman actually didn't do anything illegal, like they're allowed, at their discretion, to misprice an asset for a certain period of time, probably under the guise of the assets being complicated to price, but really it's just a buffer for them to get an edge that regular people couldn't believe. Imagine going to a horse race and being able to bet on the horses near the end of the race. Rich people get that. Private banks. Rich people use banks like Chase, but they don't bank through regular branches. Instead they use Chase private banking. They never wait on hold for a banker to pick up the phone. They get same-day access to their deposits, lines of credit, etc. Deposit $3 million into your checking account and you'll get a call from your bank's private banking group. Private boarding gate at certain airports, complete with showers, a spa, full bar, lounge, food, a bed, gym, sauna, etc. Total privacy. Your luggage is scanned and taken through security by a concierge, and you're driven to the plane in a BMW 8 Series. Lex has them now. Hello. Yes, I would like to order some wealthiness just so I can have access to the private boarding gate. Yes, I'll hold, thank you. ETA, shut up, you guys. I'm on the phone, and thanks for the silver and the chuckles. Fran, this guy doesn't even have enough money to have someone else call for him. Just leave him on hold for an hour. Yeah, but then when you get on the plane you're still stuck in the cattle car of first class with all the other plebeians. The animals in the back are even still breathing the same air as you. Clearly a private jet is the only civilized way to travel. Actual smart homes. The Alexa, Google Home market is bringing it more mainstream, but for decades the wealthy elite have had smart home functionality through companies like Crestron. The controls go far beyond controlling your lights and thermostat, and integrate with more technologies. Goddamn, Crestron brings back nightmares from my Avenue Tech days in college. As a current Crestron programmer, I actually really like Crestron. The more you learn, the more it can do. You can make it do practically anything if you get good enough. I had a buddy who hired a driver, got him to get a chauffeur's license, and then made sure his Jaguar was long enough to meet criteria as a limo, and then he could legally drink in the back seat. When I traveled with him internationally, someone met us at the door when we were dropped off, and they walked us to our plane. None of that customs, security stuff occurred. In Iowa your vehicle doesn't have to meet length requirements. My husband worked with a guy whose wife got her chauffeur's license so he could drink in the back seat of their sedan. True love right here. True Iowa right there. Everyone knows about mega yachts, but the very rich also enjoy their own trains, or at the very least private super luxurious train cars. With their budgets it isn't expensive to rent space on freight lines and an engine, assuming they don't own their own. Sometimes a group of friends will hook their private cars together and motor around a continent having a big party. Now I am imagining some fat cat in his luxury train car between a bunch of loads of coal and some hobos in an empty box car. Although not around the continent, I have been lucky enough to be invited on a rich friend's train trips, one from San Francisco to Reno, Nevada and back, in the winter, going through the mountains, beautiful, and one going from SF to LA and back, in the summer, along the coast, also beautiful. Both trips we had 3 vintage train cars, 1920, 1935 and 1940 M full bar. sit-down dining. Everyone dressed up vintage and it was fantastic. What train travel is in our fantasies, not like Amtrak these days with packaged cold sandwiches and plastic cups. I worked with a guy who had his own private train car. He was an older Wall Street guy, definitely wealthy but not super rich, maybe earning $1 million per year living in Manhattan. He described it as, instead of having a boat, I have this, we might just beat the record run. Apparently my grandpa was nuts for skating, and the clan. Pet cloning. Ex-boss was getting his dog cloned for $100,000. Oh, I've heard of this. There's a company in Texas that does it kinda regularly apparently now. $25,000 for a cat, $50,000 for a dog. It's something like a $1.2K deposit just for them to send your vet the kit to obtain bio samples and to store the material. You pay the rest of it whenever you're ready to clone your critter. Edit, the company is called Viagen if anyone's curious. See, I just don't get this. Had a friend whose super wealthy parents did this. Guess what? Different temperament and everything ... because it's still its own animal. They thought they were getting another one of their precious snuggle baby, and this one hates to snuggle and gets into everything mischievous. No thanks. I'll always adopt. Best dogs I've ever had have been adoptions.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily content. Your Mantify.